Do we want to pull out one croissant question just to keep a...
Can you do it, Chuck? I can't do anything.
I can do it. I just didn't know if we want just to keep that structure.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
This is the birthplace of the croissant queries, the Vegas trip.
Is this...
The very first croissant questionnaire was birthed by
perfect. Is my internet working or is Real GM down?
Jim Rawl.
Down for everyone or just me?
Say you will. Say you will. Say you will. Chuck, when you starting that soccer podcast with Seamus?
And I wish.
Get some real money.
Yeah.
Chinchilla fur.
Isn't
it weird how much smaller wrestlers are than you think they're going to be nowadays?
I mean, okay, yeah, I'm glad. That was something I was specifically. I was like,
when I saw him, I was like, I'm as big as you, Bubba.
Yeah, like but he looks so huge
on TV. Yeah, it's a different era.
Yeah.
Well, also to make those muscles look so big, it's hard to make really, really big muscles look big. It's easier to make smaller muscles look big. Does that make sense?
I don't think about muscles a lot, but I'm picking up what you're putting down.
It's easier on TV to make a 5'8" guy look absolutely loaded than it is like a 6'2" guy, like that frame.
Okay.
Yeah. I know The Rock is gigantic and huge, and as was Hulk Hogan and such.
How can we tie this into Kenny Lofton Jr.?
He's so short. Kenny Lofton Jr. is very short.
Did you watch any Heat?
No. I didn't see the Heat once.
I want to know what Orlando Highsmith or
Haywood Highsmith?
Hayward Highsmith.
It's a
Orlando
great
Robinson.
Name. I love it.
Strong name.
Yeah. And Jovic.
Looking into the why. Oh, 5 bars. This is why I love Sonic. I knew it wouldn't let me down. 5 bars. Got bars, Chuck.
Bars.
I hate this LeBron question.
Trade LeBron for KD?
No. Should we do that? Should we do Richard Jefferson is the croissant question? Because Magnus asked about it.
Yeah. It's a summer league special, y'all.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that one.
Okay, there's a high probability that one of the Sonic ladies will just come bring me something because they recognize me because I come here so much. But that'll be funny.
I hope that happens.
I mean, I parked in a weird place hoping they won't see me. But if they see me, they're going to bring me 88 ounces of unsweet tea for free. Guaranteed.
I love it.
Do you guys want to do apologies or do we want to just jump into something?
Just jump in.
Okay. All right. Actually, I'm gonna do one, but y'all don't have to. It'll be fine.
I know this is a high bar, but this is the least prepared I've ever been for a podcast ever.
All right.
Which is really saying something.
Yeah.
Internet free. Totally bizarre. My girlfriend figured out today on coming close to day 7 that she could have just bought more data for $10 instead of borrowing my phone for 12 hours a day. She's like, oh, I could have just bought data. But I've secretly loved this shit. I've read books. I watched movies. I slept. No internet is incredible.
Yeah, it seems somewhat enticing. Although Twitter was down for 5 minutes this morning and it made me feel stressed. All right, here we go. All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA podcast. My name is Keith Parrish, here once again with my buddies through the miracle of computer phone. I'm here with Chuck Anderson.
Hello.
And with John Burr.
It's that time. Summertime.
It's a sweet summertime. John Burr's calling in from Sonic, America's Drive-In.
Mm-hmm.
Very
my home away from home.
On brand. Home away from home for John. I was at my home away from home, which is Las Vegas.
I'm here so often that I know that my cell service is amazing here, like 5 bars, and this was the spot.
Yeah. I wouldn't brag about that cell service at the very beginning of the pod. I would maybe wait till an hour or so of the pod is over. No, my home away from home is literally NBA Summer League. I am still recovering from the journey. My voice is still coming back a little bit.
Is that from screaming at Richard Jefferson's officiating mistakes?
There was some yelling. Listen, did I take off my credential so I could heckle Richard Jefferson? Perhaps. Perhaps I covered up. Hey, also, that's the good thing. Lots of people in Las Vegas were not wearing masks, which is fine. Everyone, I guess, make their own choices. Actually, it's not fine. But the NBA recommended that we all wear masks. We were in a high prevalence of COVID zone, but I know everyone's basically done with it. But one of the benefits of wearing that mask, guilt-free heckle. Can't see the mouths moving. Can't tell where that heckle's coming from exactly.
You and Jerry West, man.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I
just want to, I want to take a moment now while Keith was telling us about Summer League. John is at the Sonic. He just pulled in. He didn't order. A woman brought him 2 giant unsweet iced teas. So he's obviously a regular. And
she also recognized that I was on the phone and was like, "I'm just going to give these to you silently, honey."
Oh my! It's incredible.
Tremendous.
That's going up on
first
YouTube.
Class treatment, folks.
You gotta check it on YouTube as John gets the
like 7 lemons in it, just how I
free
like it.
Sonic treatment from his local. They say customer service is dead. It's not dead. It's just you gotta find the right spots. Unbelievable.
These women
work.
know my child's name. I've seen pictures of their children. This is my hood.
Oh, that's tremendous.
That is tremendous. Also, you got to check out the YouTube channel to see the studio show that I filmed when I was in Las Vegas. An actual, had a professional crew did a live 19-minute Fastbreak Breakfast episode. We had a very short amount of time.
With Sean Keane and the ghost of Joey Devine?
With Sean Keane and Joey Devine. Joey Devine overslept the time. We were out on Fremont Street the night before. There was the annual Roundball Rock meetup for their podcast. And I knew it was late. I turned in, I want to say 3. And I was like, hey, there's a chance we're going to do this podcast in the morning. We're just waiting on the green light. Are you in? Are you going to wake up and just be ready? He's like, oh yeah, I'm in. But then no, turned out he had a very, very late night, missed all the calls, missed all the texts. Sean made it.
If Chuck can just make plans with Joey Devine one time, he will ghost Chuck, and then it will be the Holy Trinity. He will have ghosted us all.
Joey's great. He went hard. The fun thing about Joey, doesn't drink at all. Just went hard on.
He does drink Red Bull.
He drinks
lots of Red Bull.
Yeah, I know. We were down on Fremont Street. I've talked about this before. I'd like to actually give an update on Fremont Street. So last summer, I was like, it actually has gone one step too close to the John Carpenter post-apocalyptic wasteland world. It's a Fallout game. The NPCs are too frightening now. The people populating Fremont Street, it's really, I mean, it's honestly not to be sad or serious. It's just a reflection, I think, of the economy and the world, and
I was going
the destitute nature of the people who are there. And it's a lot where people struggling.
I was going to ask which scenario made you feel that we had stress tested the rules of our society more? Just walking around Vegas and seeing the morbid hedonism or watching the Grizzlies and Timberwolves combine for like 60 missed threes.
The 60 missed threes was pretty special, but also the
Steph Curry changed the game, y'all.
The futuristic hellscape of Fremont Street, because like they keep upgrading the buildings. They keep upgrading like the technology. There's this incredible light show that goes on underneath it, over the top of it. It's like this spectacular futuristic type thing. And then it's just the masses of humanity of just like homeless people or transient people. And it's just like, oh, it's kind of tough. And also last year I was saying it kind of bummed me out. Everyone working there was like 90. Well, I have an update. All those people are dead. And the workers are now younger. The workers are a little bit younger. No, I mean, there's also you have to go through metal detectors to get into Fremont Street on Friday nights. And it was like, again, it's like, this is the film Virtuosity, or is the film. Like, it's really like, this is the Escape from LA. We're walking in,
and that makes,
you have to be checked, you have
Sid
to scan an ID, and then you enter this like loud futuristic world where like there's like you have to use your ID to get inside a place where basically trash cans are on fire. It's the alternate timeline 1985 from Back to the Future. It is they nailed it. It honestly feels like, did they attempt? Is it life imitating art? Did they decide, let's build that. Let's build that. Because even that, there's like the, hey, guess what? There's the Heart Attack Burger place or the Heart Attack Grill.
Yeah, if you're like 350 pounds, you
eat free if it's 350 pounds. Could you imagine explaining that to someone who's never dabbled in the hedonism of Las Vegas? It's kind of funny. Like people who are dying from unhealthiness, they'll just give you this heart attack stuff. And,
right. Or like my great grandfather, who's, during the potato famine, telling him of this place in America.
Yeah.
Right. That the people eat so much that they're so fat that they're treated like special royalty.
Yeah.
My favorite. So when I was in Vegas a couple weeks ago, there was two places that struck me. We didn't get to talk about them. One was the Erotic Heritage Museum, which is basically like a giant sex museum, which is right in my wheelhouse. But the other one was this place called Fat Choi's. And it was in a restaurant called the Eureka, which I could only describe as the trap house version of a casino. Like there's, designer drugs and sexy people are doing them and they're on the strip. That's like Cosmopolitan and Aria. Those are sexy casinos. There's, you don't feel bad about yourself. But then there are people who are degenerates who have no money but need to gamble, and they go to the Eureka, which is effectively the size of a postage stamp and 8 different slot machines in it. And it opened my eyes to the kind of depravity that exists in Las Vegas. And it made me very sad for humanity.
Listen, I can't my wife can't go to Vegas because one, she says it shouldn't be there, which is very true. There's no water, and the water's going away. By the way, at Summer League in the bathrooms, there's all like the posters reminding the citizens how much water they can use. It's like, hey, don't use water on Sundays. Lake Mead, historic closed. And you're like, these are just obvious signs that humanity's ending. But also like, it's so sad, and it's hard to turn off the fact that like, this is very sad. I do have that ability where like I turn on the blinders. I'm like, whatever, we're just here doing this thing, having a good time. But it is a lot of the stuff to take in. No, but Chuck, you stayed at the Aria. I stayed at the Aria, and very, very fancy. And I had a tremendous experience. This has never happened to me before. My main drawback with staying at the Aria is usually the room is so far from the elevator. It is such a long walk, and then you have to wait for the elevator. It's always such a long time. And that's honestly, it's most casinos where like getting down from your room to the casino floor or to the ride share takes forever. This time I lucked out, had strip view right off the elevator, and my elevator only served 5 floors. So like I could be down in the lobby in 1 minute. Like the first day I was there,
Keith's a whale.
Yeah, it was a well, but I didn't pay for the upgrade or anything. Like I didn't know. I feel like I just lucked out. Maybe it's because I arrived at 2:30 in the morning. Maybe it's like, whoa, this guy, he does have a reservation. I guess we'll have to give him this room. But like the first day I was there, friend of the show, Dave DeFore, was like, hey, let's go get coffee. And I was like, I'll be down in 5. I was down in 1. It was immediate. So yeah, I felt like an absolute king being able to get to my room so quickly.
You're gonna name drop Coach DeFore like that?
I debated this episode. Should I just name drop everyone or try to play it cool? I don't know.
You know what's great is you can name drop everyone and play it cool simultaneously because Chuck and I don't know anyone but Dave DeFore and the Round Ball Rock guys.
No, I was gonna name drop real people. But maybe I don't know, maybe not.
Drop your
reaction just told me it's not okay. Your reaction said we can't be not really cool about it.
I know who Adam Mares is.
Yeah,
Adam Mares.
Let's do breakfast, guys. Have you guys had breakfast? Maybe give you guys a chance to talk a little bit. I'm still like high on basketball and summer league breakfasts. So what are you guys been up to?
No, but I could order a number 19 biscuit sandwich, sausage, bacon, or ham with tots, and it looks like a Coke for the low price of half off on my app. It won't tell me the price, but it's only half off on my app. Or I could get French toast sticks. You ever had those, Chuck? And then I also could get a breakfast toaster or a breakfast burrito or a premium burrito, which it appears to be the difference between a breakfast burrito and a premium burrito is a different color cheese.
As you, John, sit at Sonic, I mean, any food you order while on air, that's deductible. That's deductible. So I mean,
every breakfast I ever have.
Literally every breakfast, all money you spend on breakfast items also tax deductible. My accountant tells me.
Yep. So I didn't eat breakfast this morning. I woke up late. But I did have a wonderful breakfast yesterday from a coffee shop in the Wedgwood, Houston area of Nashville. It was a breakfast bodega sandwich, but it was vegan. It had just egg and vegan, and vegan cheese. But it was tremendous. It had pickled red onion, and it came on like a roll. It wasn't anything special. Maybe it would have been just like a hamburger bun, but it felt like it was steamed and it was hot and it was beautiful. And shout out the Falcon Coffee Shop that does a good vegan breakfast.
That sounds wonderful. I was going to relay like what's my best breakfast in Vegas. I don't really have that many. I mean, if you haven't heard the live episode, I did have a $3 banana, which that was exciting. That's a lot for a banana. That was similar to you, like John, right now at Sonic. This thing doesn't have a price on it. The banana didn't have a price on it. And
no doubt.
Yeah.
Was that room service banana?
No, it was not a room service banana. I actually checked the prices for, you could like pre-order stuff now to pick up. Like there was like room service, or you could just order it to go. And I'm like, that's a great option. The order to go, they didn't have like basic, like I just want a bowl of fruit. Nope, not an option. You had to kind of, they upsold you if you want to pre-order.
Oh, like they do crazy things in those hotel rooms. Like they weigh the space where the water is, right?
Yeah.
And if you move that water, they immediately charge you. There's like an electronic sensor that tells that somebody's moved the water, and then you pay $25 for a Fiji.
That's Chuck. How'd you not know that? That's been around forever.
I did it. They had comped me some stuff while I was there.
Yeah.
And I like went on, because they give you an app and the app has all this stuff. So I went on the app to like see if this comp is real or if they actually put it on there. And I was like, they charged me $25 for water I didn't even have.
Yeah.
How did they know that I moved the water because there's no shelf space there?
You guys know that scene in Flight where he starts drinking in the hotel room?
Yeah.
It would really be ruined if there was like some kind of Alexa voice that was like, you have been charged $25 for drinking vodka.
Yeah, no, that's
that
like
didn't exist.
Much like when I watch an Avengers movie and like the shield base blows up and I'm like, what does that cost? Like, what's the infrastructure in this universe? Is that like $12 trillion? And then also when I watch the movie Flight and he's in the mini bar, I'm just like, that was probably $20,000. Like, I'm just like he's just drinking $80 shots, basically. No, I'm surprised, Chuck, you didn't know the whole thing, that you can't move the minibar stuff. Like, you can't touch it.
That was my first time in an actually really good casino hotel room. Usually I would be staying at the Planet Hollywood or the now defunct Boardwalk, which was basically a Motel 6 with a really bad casino attached to it.
So I considered, because this is how I live my life a lot of time, I considered, like, I don't think I've ever gotten anything from a minibar. I was like, I might just do something silly just for the story, just like go nuts on the minibar and light a bunch of money on fire. But then I looked at the actual prices, and in my mind, I was like, it'll be hilarious to like eat $80 worth of snacks. But it was like, that wasn't even an option. It was like $300. I'm like, that's not that funny. I'm not gonna actually spend money doing that. Anyways, those were our breakfasts. Let's move on. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Might be a little bit of a longer show, but before we get to maybe just all basketball talk, all summer league talk, let's do a breakfast in bed apology. I have one. That's all we're going to do, and then we'll move on. But I would like to apologize to the Lyft driver whom I gave a 3-star review to. I didn't know it was such a big deal. Apparently, again, I didn't know this. I was, I'm just dishing out 5-star reviews to everybody, basically. There's a lot of great Lyft drivers, some not very good ones, but I'm just giving out 5 stars. I'm tipping everybody. I'm like, if you have a job that I would never want to have, I'm giving you a tip. So, like, I'm just doing it. I'm tipping. I'm having a good time. But one day I was driving. Well, I was going to the mall. I'm leaving town.
Tip your plumbers, folks.
I did tip my plumber last time. I don't. Yeah. I'm going to the mall which is an annual tradition now, to buy my kids some Legos, because, like, they don't want a Las Vegas shirt; they just want a toy. So I'm taking the lift to the mall, and the guy didn't take me to the mall entrance. And there's a dedicated rideshare entrance. It's right over there, and it's like he just stopped on the strip, and I'm like, I'm wearing pants and a long sleeve shirt, and it's 110, and I was like, hey. I was like, there's no door here. I was like, this is not the place to stop. And he was like, what? I'm like, there's no entrance here? There's a ride share over there. Can you take me over there? And he was like, it's like you're here. And I was like, seriously? I was like, just take me to the ride share, man. And so he's like, fine. And like he did. And I was like, what in the world? So I gave him a 3-star review. I mean, I gave him a 3-star. I didn't give him a review. I just gave him, I was like, 3 stars, because this is not 5. Lyft sends me an email. Are you in danger? I was like, oh no. I just gave a 3-star review. And I think that's the whole thing where people are like, oh yeah, my Lyft driver was really creepy. He sexually harassed me. I gave him 4 stars. And it's like, so there's this scale. I guess if you don't give them a 5, they're like, oh, this is a cry for help. I'm like, no, I'm not. And so maybe it was too much. Maybe it was too strong. Maybe I was just supposed to dock them 5 and leave a comment. Like, I wish you would take me to the door.
One of my favorite things to do now is go to rogerebert.com and just see that every review is between 3 and 4 stars. Yes. And I'm left only to assume that the new Louis C.K. movie is somehow, like a 3-star movie, when everyone's saying it's like the worst film ever made. And I'm like, this has got to be 3. We're in an all or nothing culture. I think 3 stars is a cry for help now.
Yeah, you're probably right. Well, anyway, that was my apology. Now, before I think we get to this Summer League extravaganza, gotta tell you, Grizz Nation, the Grizzlies want you to exercise your right to vote and educate yourself on the voting process. For more information on upcoming county, state, and federal elections, or for information on voter registration, visit yourvotematters.org today. And also, Chuck, heads up, you don't want to miss Mary J. Blige as she brings her signature soulful sound to FedEx Forum in Memphis on Sunday, October 16th. Visit FedExForum.com today to get your tickets and get ready to vibe with one of the greatest legends in R&B.
Man, Forum's going to be the dancery.
Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah.
All right, steak and eggs, best thing. We're not doing this episode totally on structure, on format, but I have so many best things from Las Vegas. And I think, John, do you want to do this? the original, part of our show, we have the croissant questionnaire where we have our Patreon supporters. They're allowed to ask us questions, which we answer. But the original. Yes. Tell us, John, the very first one.
The very first one was a series of questions I asked Keith upon his return from the first. I don't know if it was your first summer league in actuality, but it was the first one as part of the show.
Yeah.
Because I think you actually went, and this is insane, I think you went to summer leagues before this podcast existed.
So, just for fun.
I 100%, I went to summer league at least twice before the podcast began. I mean, like, I went to summer league because it was interesting, and I was like, "This is the greatest thing in the world," and I still feel that way. I don't know how many times I've repeated these stories. Like, it's probably been 5 or 6 years. If you've never been to NBA summer league and you're an NBA fan, you should go. It is spectacular just seeing NBA players, and like for people like us or people like me, I grew up outside of Nashville. I'm still in Nashville. There aren't NBA players in Nashville. There aren't NBA personalities in Nashville. Present company excluded. And
there are very few NBA fans in that.
There didn't even used to be that many NBA fans. You're right, John. I think there are a few now, but like going from never seeing an NBA player to like going to a gym where, hey, look, there's Allen Houston. Hey, look, there's Gary Payton. Hey, look, there's Luke Walton. Hey, look, there's Richard Jefferson refereeing a basketball game. It was mind blowing to me. It's still honestly like 9 years in of me going out to Vegas Summer League. It's still a little bit mind blowing, but the first time I couldn't believe it. It was just like, hey, there's Hubie Brown. Hey, there, like, it's everyone on ESPN, everyone on TNT. And so like just seeing all the people there, it's amazing. Also, I'm 6'4", and most places in my life that I go to, I'm one of the taller people there. I'm just one of the taller people in Kroger, in this restaurant I'm at, in the gym. Maybe not the gym, but it's still like, I'm normally in like the 95th, 99th, somewhere around that percentile of crowds. I'm essentially median at Summer League, where you go in and there's just everyone's 6'8". The fans are 6'8". All obviously ex-NBA players, ex-college players, our coaches, our scouts, our GMs, like they're all walking around. There's Vlade Divac. He's a famous 7'1" guy, but then it's just like, hey, the high schooler who's interning here, 7 foot. Hey, the people working concessions, maybe like 6'9", and it's just like everyone is so tall, and it's just like I walk in this crowd, and I'm like, I can't see anything. Is this how normal people live their life? I can't see it. Like I can't see where I'm going. So summer league is wild. But yes, John.
Did Nate Duncan ever pick you up and put you on his shoulders so you could see better?
Yeah, I asked him like to. I got to meet Nate Duncan. How's that? Like, it was fun. We talked. We watched the basketball.
So can we play a very quick game of scones?
Oh yeah. Do we need to sing?
Peter
Dinklage.
So I want to know.
Yes.
If any of these men are taller than Nate Duncan.
Okay.
Andre Iguodala.
Andre Iguodala is taller than Nate Duncan.
Richard Jefferson.
I did not stand beside Richard Jefferson. I would guess he is taller. Yes. Might be the same size. I'm actually going to Google Richard Jefferson's listed height here.
I think he's 6'6" or 6'7".
He's listed 6'7".
Jerry West.
Who's
probably shrunk.
Nate Duncan currently is taller than Jerry West, who's very, very old.
Let's see, who else could you have seen? Kenny Lofton Jr.
Very, very close. I'm going to say Nate Duncan is taller than Kenneth Lofton Jr. Kenneth Lofton Jr. This was a news flash for me. Rather short. As far as NBA power forwards, very short. He is comfortably 3 inches shorter than Jake LaRavia. So
wow.
Yeah, like Zaire Williams and Jake LaRavia comfortably like 2 inches easy taller than Kenneth Lofton Jr.
But I believe that Kenny Lofton Jr., we have to now refer to him as having a high ass.
He's very high ass.
Dude, he's so good at rebounding. It's so fun. He gets away. I've talked about this on Grits and Grinds. He gets away with like the push in the back thing because he just pushes people with his belly. like on
been doing it for years.
If you don't extend your arms, they don't call a foul usually. And he's just like nudging people out of the way, like using his chest, using his torso. Yeah. He's doing the Kung Fu Panda.
He's Akeem, the African Dream.
And he's just like pushing people out, and he's getting the rebounds. No, NBA Summer League's amazing. Thank you for the little game of scones there, John. I went years before we had the podcast, and that was one of the, I don't know, put a seed in the brain of like, maybe I have a podcast. I like doing this. I'm watching the starters do their live show from Vegas. They seem like they're having fun. They're fun to talk basketball.
Hey man,
with.
And it's worked. We've pushed the starters out. They're doing baseball and Formula One now.
Well, I think they're just
our time.
Hey, they're filling ad slots. They're like we're close. We're close to being like, can we just do a Deadwood podcast? Can we talk about Nashville soccer now? I don't want to talk about LeBron James or Kyrie Irving. No, it was great because like now, like, you know, being able to see those guys, the starters guys, the no dunks guys, being able to record podcasts from the concourse where I'm like, hey, I was watching this 9 years ago. All that was very cool. But anyways, like, do you want to start asking? Do you have more questions you want to start asking, John, or you want me to start spit out my favorite things that happened?
Well, why don't we let you, because I think Chuck has some highlights that he's very specifically wanting to ask about. Yeah. But I feel like those are the bigger ones. So why don't you throw out some aperitifs for us?
Oh, so some aperitifs. Let's see. I don't know
there were some news stories essentially in our world.
There definitely were news stories. I think honestly,
cataclysmic moments.
Let's just do it. I mean, let's just talk about it.
Give me, what does Andre Iguodala smell like? Because this is an important aspect. I want to get into all the sensory aspects of what's going on.
Let me tell you what happened with Andre Iguodala. Let me tell you. I don't.
Is it bad that I'm nervous? I'm like actually.
I don't have a smell memory.
Oh.
So I didn't notice that. What I can tell you about my interaction with Andre Iguodala, what is fit for the public discourse.
Did he invest in our startup?
I wish you would. Then
you have failed.
No
app.
I was recording a podcast for The Athletic on the podcast stage, and right after our podcast, Andre Iguodala's podcast was up, with the one he does with Evan Turner, and so we're recording the podcast, and I see Andre Iguodala. I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe I'll say something. I should say hi, introduce myself, and when we get done with our podcast, I ask Andrew Schlecht. There's a name drop.
Whoa, pick it up.
Big guy. No, he's a producer for The Athletic, a Thunder fan, Thunder podcaster. I'm like, hey,
what?
Do you think Andre Iguodala would want to take a photo with the Welcome to Memphis team tweet that they sent out and subsequently deleted? Do you think do you think he would want to do that? Like this little graphic that says, welcome to Memphis, Andre Iguodala. He's like, oh, certainly. And I was like, I don't know. Is it weird to ask? He's like, I've heard, Andrew says, and I'm going to put him on spot. Andrew says, I've heard he has a good sense of humor. At the very least, I want to see you ask him. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I walked over. I said, Andre, my name's Keith Parrish. I podcast about the Grizzlies. Would you think it was funny if we took a photo of you with this image that says welcome to Memphis on my phone? He did not think it was that funny. He then told me, and he basically said that he felt he was misrepresented in the public. And the way all Grizzlies fans remember this situation, that he did not want to come and play for the Grizzlies. He said that was a misrepresentation of what actually happened. And I was like, oh, well, that's the way it came across to me. Like, my memory was a newsbreaker said Iguodala's not going to show up. And he said that he thought that the team was going to trade him maybe quicker, that they weren't ever going to ask him to show up. And according to Andre Iguodala, he said they did, and then later asked him to show up, and that turned him into the bad guy. And he said that just wasn't the way that it played out. But then we also talked about how he did say, like, which players, like he says he loved Memphis. He loves going to Memphis. He's a big fan. He likes the team, the Grizzlies. He likes the players on the Grizzlies. He also, by the way, said he loves D'Anthony Melton. We had a moment. It was a very sweet moment. But he just said that he wasn't super pleased with how he was portrayed. And he thought maybe he was misled a little bit. And then he did, in fact, say but he's like, I will totally take the photo. That sounds fun. He was very good natured. It was a very fun talk. So that was the interaction. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought he was very cool about it. Andrew, who heard the,
did you try taking a picture with all of your tweets where you rallied fans against him repeatedly throughout the season?
No, I did scrub my Twitter profile though. He got a ring. He got an extra year from Miami. Like we talked about all. And he seemed very cool about it. He just wanted to express that, like, man, it's all love. Like everyone should love each other. Yeah. Was
he still Natalie attired after the crypto crash? Because I
don't know if the crypto crash affected him that much. Not like those NFL guys who took their payments in crypto. I believe I was reading about those.
Andre Iguodala is the only player on that list, man.
Oh, he is
in the NBA. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he's lucky. He's lucky he got that extra year from Miami. So like talking to Andre Iguodala was a lot of fun. Hopefully at some point our podcast paths will cross and he can say publicly exactly everything he maybe wanted to say. He has his own thing. I mean, he could get whatever story
platform.
He has a huge platform. So, but that was fun. It was fun to meet Andre Iguodala. I posted the photo on Twitter and someone called me a sellout. And I don't know what that was. What did I sell out? I took a Grizzlies photo with Andre Iguodala. Like what? I don't. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not. I mean, I will sell out. Just DMs are open.
How do we sell out?
Say please, by all means. I'm into it. So like that was super fun. Seeing Andre Iguodala was super fun. Also, like I did get to sit behind Jerry West and I got to hear him berate some officials. And that was like a life dream. That really was that was pretty cool.
That might be the most revelatory thing you sent to us was just that Jerry West is so telling that he berates officials at Summer League.
I mean, I think he's
a competitor, baby.
He's a competitor. It's really cool. So then I got to see him actually give a speech to the sports business classroom. And he said that like, part of his speech, he said that he thinks players complain to the officials too much, and like maybe he thinks that's what the fans and the coaches and front office people are supposed to do. But he pointed out he picked up 2 technical fouls in his entire career that he didn't. If this was
a scene from Winning Time, he would have complained about the officials while wearing a GIMP mask. So at least we know the real Jerry West now.
Yeah. So all that was really cool. Beyond that, just like I'm a sicko. I like watching the basketball. Did you guys get to see any of the stuff? Like
I followed everything. I followed. Well, I did watch the California Classic stuff with the Heat, but Summer League's your thing, Keith.
Yeah.
I'm not going to step. I went once for like 6 hours. It was a space where it felt like everyone knew how to solder and owned like dice with 20 faces on it. Like it was a very specific kind of fan. It wasn't unenjoyable. It was fun, but it's Keith's thing. It's Keith's thing. But I love catching Keith's tweets of just like random Santi Aldama tweets.
Are we ready to talk about Santi Aldama? John, have you had a chance? The man, 7'1", 21-year-old, last 2 games averaging 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks and 2 steals. When are we talking about Santi Aldama on a national platform?
I watched 1.5 Grizzlies games. The Grizzlies Timberwolves games may have turned me off of Summer League forever. I tried to keep up with Keith's content. My favorite moment of all Summer League was you being on Denver Nuggets, like, I don't know if TV is the right word, but the main Denver Nuggets account. 2 podcasters talking about, and you didn't say this for the record, 2 podcasters talking about the Grizzlies being too online was one of my favorite hot pedal black moments in the history of anything.
Keith, who has, I think, 16 burner accounts. How many Twitter accounts do you have?
So big news, big news with Twitter. You can now do co-tweets. I'm just going to send out every tweet from all my accounts at the same time. It's going to be amazing.
Synergy.
No, I mean, I think the argument for Ja Morant being too online came across this week when ESPN ran with a fake story. They assumed he just said.
Yeah.
When they put on SportsCenter that Ja Morant said something he did not say. But yeah.
Why can't we be ball sack sports?
Well, I mean, you can't. No one's stopping you.
I'll try.
Yeah. Do your best. I mean, you Chuck, you got duped by an account that said Lonzo Ball had 80 points in a basketball game or something.
First of all, it was 54.
Okay.
And the Pelicans scored 177, which I believe is the most points scored ever in the history of the NBA. Yeah. And I didn't look it up. I didn't cross check, and that's my bad.
Yeah. Well, like I will say, and we might as well talk about it. The player comps, because I mean, not player comps, just like the player evaluation, getting to see these guys for the first time. Very, very exciting. And I got to say, I got nothing but good things to say basically about the entire lottery. Like these guys, I think all the fan bases are going to be super excited.
Okay. I have a challenge for you.
What is it?
Redraft the lotto picks based only on summer league performance. Right now, you have 45 seconds.
All right, let's do this. I think literally numerous publications are going to do a redraft of the lottery based on summer league, which I think, listen, that doesn't bother me. It's fine, fair content.
30 seconds remaining.
One absolutely is Paolo Banchero. He is a basketball god. I don't
made me a lot of money.
I don't care that he turns the basketball over. He's the guy in summer league everyone is just talking about. Like this has become a unanimous chorus of basketball fans who are all screaming, why was there a debate? That guy is by far the best player here, or by far the best player, among the rookies. So like Banchero, absolutely number one. Chet Holmgren looks awesome. He blocks shots much like Giannis Antetokounmpo, where they get called goaltending because the referee's like, there's no way he just did that. And it turns out on replay, you're like, oh yeah, Giannis caught it before the glass. He's the one who bounced it off the backboard. It was a clean block shot. So like,
quick question regarding Chet.
Yeah.
Do you think that he had so many block shots because people look at him, think he looks like Ichabod Crane? They're like, I can dunk on that man.
Yes. Okay. I think every
and
one
of
these summer league guys,
away, right? Because
every one of these summer league guys is like, oh, I can score on him. I can score on him.
That guy who has flamingo legs. Yeah. I could take him.
I don't know if it's either if it's the players just don't know. They're like, oh, he can't be that good or something. They don't have a scouting report. They're like, oh, he's going to block your shot. And then, or if it's they're thinking, I'm going to make my name.
Right.
I'm going to make my name by scoring over him.
I'm going to do the Sean Bradley thing. But I saw Kenny Lofton Jr. see Timothée Chalamet and just be like, I'm going to eat this man.
So obviously, Junior, as we call Kenneth Lofton now, Junior has played against him before. They were teammates on that under-19 team. So
I didn't know that.
Junior knows how to score against him. He knows how to just push him out of the way and shoot.
Belly bump.
One thing that was interesting in the Thunder's game on Wednesday night, actually, Chet got 0 blocks. He got 5 steals, though. But the 0 blocks lowered his career. I'm talking about his all-time summer league blocks per game career, which is now for 5 games in. It lowered him beneath Jaren Jackson Jr. very importantly, and Jaren Jackson Jr. is still the all-time summer league career blocks per game leader. Do you guys know who the all-time summer league steals per game leader is?
No.
Melton.
He might get traded soon.
Donovan Mitchell, wasn't he doing like eight steals a game?
I'm glad you remember that, Chuck. I think he had 9 against the Grizzlies, where Wade Baldwin threw it to him like 6 times in a row. But yeah, Donovan Mitchell randomly is the all-time summer league steals per game leader. By the way, huge shout out to Real GM being the only website that has historical summer league stats. Thank you, guys.
This is incredible.
Did Jabari stay in the top 3?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So Jabari Smith is struggling to shoot and got thoroughly outclassed just physically it looked like if it was a prize fight, you're like, you guys are not the same. Like, why are you both supposed to be
weight class?
Yeah. He looks so small against Paolo, but Jabari's defense has been good and no one passes to him. The concerning thing about Jabari is much like no one passes to him, he also can't pass. He doesn't apparently know. He doesn't seem to know how to pass to find an open guy. And the Banchero stuff was so good because the dude willing passer, like looks very comfortable with the ball. Keegan Murray is like blowing it up. So I don't know how to judge him because I feel like he's looked unimpressive. Well, I feel like he hasn't looked that great, but he's put up awesome stats in every game he's played. And that was the blurb that I'd memorized about him beforehand was, yeah, you don't think he's doing that much. And then you get to the end of the game, he has 25 points. And that was my experience where I was like, oh, it seems like he shoots. He hasn't really scored any other ways. And then it's like, oh, he had 29 last night. It's like, oh, well, that's a lot. So like Keegan Murray looks pretty good. Jaden Ivey was exciting. Honestly, I don't think none of the top 5 is changing. Because no one jumped up. I don't think no one really outperformed. So Jaden Ivey, my 2-cent quick takeaway from him is he went too hard. Like it's like the John Morant thing where the John Morant, like, why are you trying to dunk that? You're going to get hurt.
No double teams in summer league.
he would sprint so hard into people, like, and he would try to get past people and he would get hit. He would fall over. And so like, he got hurt. It wasn't his fault. It was a Zaza Pachulia. Someone put his foot underneath his foot when he landed on the jumper, twisted his ankle. But like, he looked good. My impression was too much, man. Like, slow down. Like Ben Madden looked fine. If anyone might have, I don't know if anyone even jumped up for like Shadon Sharp. Unfortunately, he left with a shoulder injury after everyone not seeing him play basketball for a year. Like, no one saw him play basketball. And then he comes to Summer League. He plays, I think it was 7 minutes, and then he hurts the shoulder and he's out again. So like, no impression was made. Jerry West said Dyson Daniels was one of his favorite people. This is what he said to the Sports Business Classroom. He said Dyson Daniels was one of his favorite guys in the draft. So he, I don't know, Pelicans fans get excited about that. I know this is boring, but like,
what about Jeremy Sochan? My bust pick.
I'm not sure he played. I don't think he played. I did not see him play. He got COVID. He missed. So getting to the 10th pick. So we get to the 10th pick, Johnny Davis. This is the first one where I was like, bust pick. Oh, I think we joked about it, Chuck, on the show. We're like, pick one of our croissant questions from our Patreon supporter was, knowing nothing, just gut feeling, which player busts. And Chuck, you were like, who did the Wizards take? And they took Johnny Davis, and Johnny Davis totally invisible, like did not score. Like I watched him, I'm like, what is he doing? And he's just like a guard who didn't. I don't think I saw him score more than 5 points in a game. And so like he's the guy where Jalen Williams, the Santa Clara Jalen Williams, he looked amazing, unreal. So like I feel like he might even go even higher if you were forced to redraft after a handful of summer. If
you weren't being confused with another Jalen Williams, perhaps.
Yeah. He looked good. Tari Eason was as advertised, just a Tasmanian devil of just like unleash him and let him go, just get rebounds and blocks and steal. And like, he was awesome. AJ Griffin, who fell in the draft because of injury concerns, basically didn't play because he was day to day with foot stuff. Well, that's bad. Like that isn't a good impression. The big guys, Jalen Duren and Mark Williams, I can't, like, if I had to draft between those two guys and James Wiseman, like James Wiseman played, he looked amazing for a few minutes. He got a block, he got a dunk, he got a made 3-pointer in like his first 2 minutes of summer league. Everyone was like, oh my God, he's incredible. But then he didn't do anything after that. Like if I had to pick between those guys and then like Jericho Sims from the Knicks, I can't tell. Like Jericho Sims looked great as a Knick.
You can still take Duren because of shoulder muscles.
Maybe, but like Sims is he's an absolute prototype human being. Honestly looks as strong as the guy named Adonis Arms, who was one of the great names of summer league.
An anime name.
Honestly, the rest of the first round, I don't have like. I wouldn't even give you a bust name outside.
Jake LaRavia.
Jake LaRavia, I thought he was fine. Like 5th starter material, sure, why not? Good looking shot. Get some steals and blocks. He doesn't shoot very much, but he's like super tall. Like again, I was impressed that he was a legit. He's like over 6'8". I thought Blake Wesley looked really good in the game I watched. Like all the Spurs picks, like Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, they all looked pretty good. But then, by the way,
we're gonna need a David Roddy update.
Oh, David,
Roddy Rich.
Among the first round picks that I saw play, David Roddy was, I would unfortunately say, one of the least impressive. I'm not, the jury's still out, obviously, on all these guys, but I don't totally get it yet. But people tell me he's just a good defender. He can move guys out, similar to Kenny Lofton on the rebounds, which is good.
High ass.
I liked. I thought Peyton Watson was really good, but also Peyton Watson and much like Blake Wesley, they will show up. They might show up later in the award segment of the program. But there were a lot of good guys. Even the second rounders were like kind of fun. The Josh Minot looked cool. Kendall Brown looked kind of fun. Jabari Walker for the Trailblazers, like all these like late round picks looked, I don't know, kind of promising. So like, I don't know. It was fun. Again, overreactions. I feel like normally I have a lot of really strong, like that's a nightmare pick. And
yeah,
I don't feel like I do this year outside of Johnny Davis, where it was like the 2 games I saw were really, really like borderline concerning. Are there any other?
It's got to be terrifying for a player when it's like that. Did you ever go to a basketball camp or try out for an AAU team where you were really outclassed? It's like one of the worst feelings in the entire world.
Yeah.
So it's just got to be kind of horrifying.
I don't know. Like there's always excuses in summer league. You never know what teams are working on, what the other players are working on. And sometimes it's so subject to how your teammates, how good they are and how much they're passing. And
you're staying in a palace made of cocaine. So you may have just stayed up too late every single night.
A few wrong decisions here or there. Like even like the guy from Kansas you liked, John, Christian Braun, and he's 1 for 21 on threes in summer league. And that's one of those things where you're like, that actually doesn't matter. There are legit guys who just miss all their shots and it's whatever. It's just a bad week, a weird week. That is concerning. More so it's the guys who look like physically they don't belong or they're not getting any separation, not running around. And I really didn't have a lot of impressions of those guys. Let's switch over to some negative things. We'll generally table this, categorize this as our cream of wheat's worst of weeks. Do you guys have any, or do you want me to keep rolling?
This is croissant question. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah.
No, I have a bad thing. So the Shaquille O'Neal empire is continuing. I don't know if you guys knew this, but he's started a giant big chicken company. Let me get the actual name of the chicken company.
He started a what?
It's a chicken sandwich company, and Big Chicken. It's just called Big Chicken. But my favorite part of this worst thing, because he just keeps getting rich. He's not only a DJ and a commentator and owns Papa John's and now chicken franchises, but he made a sandwich.
Is Papa John's uncanceled?
I don't believe so.
Okay, all right.
I think they've excised Papa. So
the Papa's gone. There's no more John. But he has the best thing. He put a chicken sandwich on the menu named after Charles Barkley, which is tremendous.
That's good. That's good business.
And I'm just going to quote the press release. And to those who are super hungry, they might order the Charles Barkley, a fried chicken sandwich loaded with mac and cheese, crispy fried onions, and roasted garlic barbecue aioli. There's so much going on there, and I'm so proud that this isn't my worst. This is actually my best. I don't know what I'm doing.
No, it's fun. Yeah, this is great. Do you guys not remember? I feel like I've heard this before now, but I think what I'm remembering. Do you guys remember when Shaq came to Nashville and he was here sampling chicken?
Do we remember Chuck saw him DJ?
No, I thought it wasn't the time Chuck saw him DJ. No, he was here, and he was here basically sampling chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, I was. He ended up going to a store of a friend of mine, and we found his valet parking ticket in the parking lot. We almost went to the hotel where he was staying to hunt him down, to take one photo with him. But I do have my DJ Diesel sweater. But yeah, that wasn't that trip. It was another trip.
Were the Fushnikins there?
No, they weren't.
By the way, I just thought of a summer league player who was terrible. This is not a rookie, and I guess this fits well in the cream of wheats. RJ Hampton is awful at basketball. Just awful. He is one of the worst. Like, he can do some physically athletic things with the basketball, and every now and then he can get to the rim and he can score, particularly in the summer league setting. He can dunk on people. He's awful at the game of basketball. Like, so terrible at finding teammates, so terrible at passing, terrible at defense. Like, he was hilariously comical to watch. He's still on the Magic.
That's the Magic's brand. I think
it really is the Magic's brand, but like, he just could not, for the life of him, find any way to make his teammates better. We were laughing in the media section. We were setting prop bets. First, we set prop bets on just missed shots per game. Like, what's this missed shots going to be? And then we changed it to prop bets on passes. How many, not assists.
Yeah.
How many passes will he make for the rest of the game? We set it at 4.5. He had 4.
Oh.
Like, he would, if he got the ball, it was going up. It was going up, and it was like, he even had an inbounds pass one time. He almost took a 5-second call. It looked like he was just trying to decide, like, do I really? All right, I'll pass. All right. He's like, I like touching the ball so much. It feels so good in my hands. Man, no, he was awful.
What was more horrifying, considering the complete loss of water in Las Vegas, or seeing Chris Birdman Anderson in person?
Oh man, the Birdman head tats. Shout out Birdman.
This goes back to
he looked like Carcosa.
This goes back to the dystopian future. Like, Mama told me there'd be head tattoos. Well, there are. Looks like he had the barcode printed out all over it. No, I love the Birdman. Sign of
that's the mark of the beast.
I love it. I love
the illustrated.
He's one of my favorite NBA players. The Birdman dunk contest is one of the lowest moments of my life. And I love Chris Burr. He's one of the first guys that I feel like I was first on, or very early on. And it's because I watched him in Summer League. Like, this is back watching him on Summer League and TV. But I remember early on, I can't remember if it was Summer League or if it was early in his NBA days.
When you mean first on, what does that mean?
Like, saw him before where I liked him or knew about him before anybody else knew about him. Like, before he was good in the NBA, where I was a fan. I'm like, you guys, you have to find out this guy about Chris. You have to find this guy, Chris Anderson. He's amazing. And the play that I saw, he tried to do tip dunks on successive plays where he landed on his head both times, where he flipped over a guy, landed on his head. And I was like, oh no, is that guy all right? And he pops up, he runs down the court. Then then he's running back down, tries to tip dunk again, lands on his head again. And I was like, this guy's ridiculous. And I really liked him. So no, it's been a solid 20 years of cheering for Chris Anderson. So seeing him was nothing but excitement. I'll do a worse thing that's not even like Summer League related. And it's that the NBA adopted this take foul thing. And I understand why everyone wanted the NBA to add a penalty for take fouls. And the idea being this will lead to more fast breaks. Have we already forgotten the clear path foul?
Yeah.
And
right.
The clear path foul was supposed to lead to more fast breaks.
Yeah.
It has led to more stoppages, period.
Yes.
It's led to replay reviews. It has not led to more
replays.
fast breaks. They know they're not supposed, the players know you're not supposed to commit a clear path foul. They still commit clear path fouls.
And now it takes 6 minutes
to
clear up a clear path.
At the very least, this is not going to be reviewed. Also, they tried to codify it. Writing rules is hard. I say it all the time. They tried to codify, like, this is, if it stops a continuous motion, Like continuous motion is in the rule book. So like if you stop and try to dodge the clear path or try to dodge the take foul, I believe the way the rule's written, not a clear path foul. So like, I think you have to be moving in a straight line. We'll see how it's actually enforced, but it's leading to the referees having some judgment calls. It's what it's going to be, but like, it's not going to make the game faster. It's just going to add a free throw. There already is a penalty for the take foul. It's called a foul. And like, I don't really think it's going to make the game that much more exciting. Grizzlies fans are all like, oh yeah, we get a lot of turnovers. We get a lot of transition. It's really going to help the Grizzlies. It might help the Grizzlies. Like they might get more free throws from this, but I think it's just going to lead to more consternation of like, well, are we calling it this way? That doesn't make any sense. I think it's opening the Pandora's box. Like, are you guys excited? Like, do you guys think it's going to work? Because I think it's just going to be more free throws.
Yeah. If you're just going to slow the game down more, I want to see, movement. So foul, then put the ball in play and let's get going.
Right.
Instead of this, like trying to incentivize or decentivize action behaviors, it always ends up having, unintended consequences, which usually means the game gets worse.
And I know the delayed game penalty is actually, it's not like for enjoyability or watching of the game. It's not actually to move the game along faster. It's to make sure you don't get an advantage by being able to set your defense. But it's still funny where every time a delay of game is like, you delayed the game. Let's blow the whistle, stop play. And
delay the game some more.
What were you saying, John?
Unless Richard Jefferson is involved in all of these transactions, I'm not really, I'm against him.
All right.
Did you guys see his stat line?
I know his stat line, I think by heart. I don't know if I have it right. He was 0% on out of bounds calls. He made one out of bounds call, and it was not a bang bang play. He didn't get a bang bang play incorrect.
Was it a bing bong play?
He got a very clearly, obviously, like one team knocked it out of bounds, and he gave it to that team. And the other official, like the first time he blew his whistle, he just points the wrong way. He even says the wrong team, and then the other official has to come over and be like, "Sorry, Richard, but." This is
very clearly a CIA psyop to try to make it look like officiating is really hard and that we should go easier on the officials.
So
this has to be. You can't be this bad.
He blew my mind how bad he was at it. I thought coming into it, I was like, oh, all right. He's been training or something. Like he wants to follow the path of Haywood Workman. He wants to go league to referee. Like I assumed he'd actually had some instruction and had been working on it. And then like the press release was like, Richard Jefferson attended the referee meeting and will now officiate a quarter of a game. You're like, wait, he attended a meeting? And then it's like, all right, I'm going to go do it. So like, it was worse than my lowest expectations. Another part of me thought, what if he's incredible? What if an NBA player with virtually no instruction can walk onto the court and see the game more clearly because he's played, he understands it, the game is not fast to him? What if he could just cut through it and is great and it makes basketball like blows the lid off officiating? But of course, that did not happen. He couldn't see anything. It was rough. I also wanted to like, will his mechanics be all right? Will he do? No. Did he signal a made three-pointer? No, he did not. He did not even raise his arm to show the scorer's table. Like the basic, the easiest part of the job. Let the score table know that this is a 3-point basket. Nope. Like it was,
I wish Bill Walton had been around to commentate on this.
Oh, no.
He always had the best Richard Jefferson commentary.
Yeah.
Arizona Wildcat. Sorry, I did Jesse Ventura for some reason.
Yeah, it sounded like
Frogman.
But it was funny because Jamal Murray was trash talking him on the sideline. Tibbs was trash talking him on the sideline. People were alternatingly booing him and cheering for him. They wanted him to call foul. He so when you call foul, you're supposed to raise your arm straight up in the air with a closed fist. That's basic stuff to communicate to everyone. You communicate to the scores table. You can communicate to the other officials. You communicate to the teams and to the fans. It's how we know a foul happened. But like,
I thought when there was a foul, you crotch chop and dance across the floor like Joey Crawford. Did he try anything like that?
That is like refereeing. That's like refereeing senior year thesis level.
Yeah.
Okay. Where you
refereeing 101. You got to stop the game. Arm up, blow your whistle, and then say what you got. And like, he was getting ragged, like, call a foul. Like he kind of half raised his arm once. Another time, another official blew his whistle, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna raise it." Oh, I didn't do it. He finally did call a foul, got a big ovation. It's like you can't. If he went the whole quarter without calling anything, like you missed your one out of bounds, you didn't call a foul or a violation. I feel like it would have been a great moment of regret. But he did make one foul call. It would seem like a correct play. But did those stats check out with what you had, Chuck? What?
Oh no, mine came from Reddit.
All right, what did Reddit have his stats as?
His stat line on Reddit was standby. It was 11 missed calls, 20 or 6 incorrect gestures.
The incorrect gestures were a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then one bald head. So that was the Reddit thing. So they trolled him.
But this sounds like a night out in Vegas, really. All these missed calls and like gestures.
Maybe he went a little too hard the night before, and he probably maybe he had a couple, maybe
he also surprisingly, if you didn't know he was an NBA athlete, a former NBA player,
kind of looked like a ref.
No, he looked unathletic. He was moving slow. He was moving slower than the other
like
officials.
Richard Jefferson to me.
He was just kind of jogging. He was doing the top of the 3-point line to top of the 3-point line. He was just kind of jogging back and forth. There were a lot of missed calls. Some of it, though, that quarter did go by very quickly. And honestly, I am open to an argument. If you want to tell me Richard Jefferson proved that not calling fouls makes the game easier to watch, hey,
yeah,
I'm open to that argument. Because Richard Jefferson is like, in my book, that shouldn't be a foul. Maybe that's what he was thinking. I think he was just
abolish the police.
Yeah. So maybe this summer league game went better. This quarter went better because Richard Jefferson was not calling hand checks. He was not calling stuff, and the players just had to play through contact. So maybe that would be better. But Richard Jefferson, underwhelming in every way. I think now let's do one listener question. We got one listener question. We can get to the croissant questionnaire. Janky Jeff asks, I recently saw in Summer League B-roll that there is a restaurant there named Fastbreak. Do they have breakfast? There is a restaurant there called Fastbreak. It is one word. Much like our fast break is one word.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of people come up to me and say, hey, did you see that fast break restaurant? Yes, I did. Thank you. No, Jeff, there is no breakfast. It's very sad. There's actually, by the way, no breakfast in the entire concourse. This is the yearly discussion. Talked about it on last episode. There's no edible food. There's no breakfasts to be had. There is coffee, by the way.
So the Keith Parrish breakfast.
Maybe that's next year. For me to get to Vegas, we do a breakfast pop-up in the fast break.
I don't know what it would take. I literally think you could make $1 billion if you just brought fruit. People fruit.
$3 bananas,
but
man.
There's clearly some form of contract where Sodexo, Marriott, or whoever the food service, Cisco Foods has said you can't sell food here. You can't sell like if they had a Raising Cane's, they could charge $30 for. If they had a Popeyes, they could charge $20 a sandwich.
There'll be a Hattie B's doing $80.
They sell the microwave pizzas for $13. They sell chicken tenders, microwave chicken planks, $13. There's a Dairy Queen there, the only branded thing there, but they clearly are only allowed to sell ice cream. Like they don't have any actual food. It's really weird. It feels like you could make so much money. I mean, I guess you couldn't make more money than they're currently making by selling you school cafeteria food for $13 a pop, but it is bleak. Yeah, we need to look into that. How do we get a pop-up that just sells almonds?
We'll just do egg sandwiches.
Yeah, like, man.
Eggs Benny.
We'll just do bodega sandwiches.
We gotta. Is it too painful, Chuck, to bring back your food truck in memory, just to open it up for Las Vegas Summer League? Just
the last ride.
I can. I'm actually talking to somebody right now about doing a catering gig with buns.
Nice.
So, yeah. So who knows? But I would love to go out there. I think that would be fun. I can figure out how to cook in an arena. I'll just say this and then never follow through.
Magnus also asks about Richard Jefferson reffing. Which current or past NBA players would make the best, worst, most entertaining referees? Who do you guys want to see referee?
Kyle Lowry.
Oh, Kyle! I thought Kyle Lowry would be incredible at it. Chris Paul, of course.
I want to see.
Paul knows the rules.
I want to see Rasheed Wallace to see if he balances the scales and just hands out a tech a minute. Just for anything.
I thought Rasheed Wallace was there. Saw him.
Got a lot of ammo in his clip.
Walking around. I want to see. I want to see Chris Paul do it because I think it would be funny if he was terrible at it. It would be funny if his mechanics were as bad as Richard Jefferson's. My dream would be they would not be. My dream would be he would be amazing.
Who are some players who don't know the rules?
Dwight
Howard. Let's see Dwight Howard officiate.
Oh, Dwight Howard would be terrible at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be that. Yeah. That'd be really fun. Who's trying to think.
One of those guys who started playing basketball at like age 16.
Trying to think of another entertaining player.
Oh, there's many.
Meta World Peace. Meta World Peace.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Meta World Peace would be the head of my referees.
Udonis Haslam, he'd just fight everybody.
Jamal Tinsley with a broom.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea. Thanks for the question, Magnus and Jeff. If you guys out there want your own questions answered on air, you have to become a Patreon supporter. Also, if you're a Patreon supporter, you can join our Slack chat and get some of the behind-the-scenes stuff about my trip to Vegas. Also talk basketball, movies, whatever else around the clock. You do it all at patreon.com/fastbreak breakfast. All right, so now time for the awards segment of the program, the International House of Pancakes Award for all of Summer League so far. And this was old school style. I had to manually go through every box score. There is no basketball reference database for sorting through some shooting performances.
I thought you had to manually do this while sitting in the stands, like baseball style.
No, I might have missed one because of human error, but we do in fact have plenty of terrible shooting performances.
Are they all from the Grizzlies Timberwolves game?
No, none of them. I'm going to give some honorable mentions. Charlie Brown Jr. 0 for 9, Vic Law 1 for 12, and Javonte Smart, Chuck's Miami Heat. Javonte Smart 8 for 26. I think 26 field goals is the most field goals attempted in a game so far. But we have 3 nominees. I believe these are in chronological order. Trey Mann of the Thunder against the Rockets was 1 for 13. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 3 personal fouls. Jared Butler of the Jazz, whose rights were drafted by the Grizzlies and traded to the Jazz. Jared Butler, in a win against the Mavericks, 3 for 22.
Hey, now.
3 for 22, 9 points, 10 assists, though, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, 4 turnovers, 5 personal fouls. And then Blake Wesley, who wears a T-shirt under his jersey, but also wears the shorter shorts, which are getting more popular now. That's a combo I don't think I've seen since maybe Greg Anderson in
Revenge of the Nerds.
like UNLV running ribs. Anyway, Blake Wesley against the Rockets in a loss, 3 for 20. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 3 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. So our 3 nominees.
I'm sad that we didn't get any of the 9 personal foul games.
Yeah, I didn't notice if anyone even fouled out. I don't think anyone was fouled out of Summer League. I feel like I would have heard about it. That's what I'm talking about. I feel like I would have heard about it. I haven't seen it happen.
Well, so Richard Jefferson's reffing. Nobody's.
Yeah, no one's going to. Trey Mann 1 for 13, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Jared Butler 3 for 22. 9 points, 10 assists. Blake Wesley, 3 for 20, 14 points, 6 rebounds. What do you guys think?
I'm going 3 for 22.
Yeah, that's eye popping.
It is incredibly eye popping. I mean, yes, 10 assists, but 3 for 22 is a little bit mind blowing. Congratulations, Jared Butler, on winning a hotly contested Summer League International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award. All right. Finally, gentlemen, par fadeaway. What things are you guys looking forward to in the coming week?
Gonna go see Thor: Love and Thunder again.
Hey, congratulations.
It was so amazing. I loved it. But I'm gonna take my son I saw it by myself in Screen
You're just being
X.
responsible. You're making sure it's nothing.
No, I want to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, you made a good parent.
Spoiler alert, a child dies in the beginning.
Every Marvel movie, children die. And then if a children, like, it's like 80% parent death with the grieving child. Every now and then child death.
Yeah. But it was great. It was, it's a great movie. I can't wait to watch it. It's with my kid. He'll love it.
Chuck, how did you feel about JT Thor hitting the double overtime game winner to beat the Lakers?
That's some love. Well, if he would have hit a game-winning shot against the Thunder, then Thor,
it would have been the universe would have ended. Our multiverse, ours would have pitched off another,
an incursion would have happened.
Yeah,
snap.
Yeah. John, you have any basketball related things you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm curious I'm looking forward to seeing the pundits rate Donovan Mitchell anywhere from game-changing wing to defenseless moron for the next months or so. I don't think I've ever seen such a disparity between how much a player helps or hurts a team in all these years.
Do you understand the Jazz trading Donovan Mitchell? Like, is it?
Well, if he doesn't want to be there, yes.
Right. That's always the case. If you feel like he's going to move on or something.
But I think if you're in, everybody's that's Danny Ainge's MO, tank or be in contention for the finals, and he's tearing it down to the studs.
So,
and I get it, but it also you're rolling the dice now because the odds aren't the same as it used to be when he was in Boston.
You're rolling the dice.
When you get 17 first-round draft picks for Rudy Gobert, I would think it's pretty tantalizing to see what you can get for Donovan Mitchell.
Well, so you're rolling the dice because the flattened lottery odds. You already have to look at like the queue of people who are tanking. I feel like you need to do that, and there are multiple teams possibly ahead of you in the tank. Now, if you somehow get rid of Mitchell and Conley, or in John's opinion, keep Conley, if you drop Bogdan, Jordan Clarkson, like there's still a lot of teams ahead of you in the tank. Like.
Yeah,
I think, I don't know, the odds of getting, like we already talked about it from the Timberwolves perspective, like the odds of drafting a player better than Gobert with those picks you sent out, very, very low. And the odds of the Jazz getting players back who are better than Mitchell and Gobert feels a little risky. He's 25. And it's like, I don't know. You got all these picks for Gobert. It seems like you got picks you could build with and also still have Mitchell. I think it's weird. I think it's also weird that Adam Silver in his Board of Governors wrap up State of the Union address is like Kevin Durant requesting a trade. It's bad for the league. It has to be addressed in the next CBA. So my reading of this, to recap the way things go, a 35-year-old star on a 4-year contract requesting a trade, devastating to the fabric of the league. A team trading a 25-year-old star on a 4-year contract because they want to lose games.
Oh, yeah, right.
Great. Perfect.
Strategic.
Hey, that's good. That's good strategy. That's good Why don't you trade your most popular and best player who's on a 4-year deal because you want to lose basketball games? Yeah, that's good. Nothing to address here. No reason to adjust the way everything runs off that. Keep up the good work, Commissioner.
It's really just
he said some wild things this week.
Oh man, he threw the Spurs under the bus. with the Spurs started
resting players.
The resting. Yeah, he's like, I wish the players wouldn't rest. By the way, we have to fit in 70 games because of COVID in 5 months.
Right, and like calls RC Buford out. Like,
I like that though.
Which I respect. Yes.
Name names. Always name names.
Do it again.
Yeah.
You want to trade Dylan Brooks? Name names. Who are we getting? The one thing I'm looking forward to, Cam Thomas right now is the greatest gunner NBA Summer League has ever seen. He's an unstoppable scoring force. He has the highest points per game in Summer League history. So I'm going to be watching to see if he plays again and if he slips up. He's got a very narrow margin. He's hanging on ahead of, I believe, Kevin Durant. So Cam Thomas, I'm cheering for you to keep your teammate Kevin Durant out of the record book so you can be the all-time greatest scoring leader. That's what I'm looking forward to. Anyways, thanks you guys for listening to the episode. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Fastbreak Break. Follow Chuck, the Mighty Chuck. Follow John, Master, John Burr. Don't miss John Mulaney as he comes to the FedEx Forum on October 8th. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours today and get ready for some seriously funny jokes. For tickets and information, visit fedexforum.com. To support our program, do that at patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing